Okay, let's start. Hello, and welcome to I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. My name is Jeremy Zeluk. I'm the host and Alton Brown of the group. Joining me this week, as always, is
Friend of the show, Ben Montoya.
Ian Davis, the John Mackey of the show.
Oh.
And Evan Aubrey.
What were you checking?
You had to check your notes.
Trying to open my check who I am and trying to open this drink at the same time.
What do you have to drink, Evan?
It's a Hemley pear cider, jalapeno infused.
Is there a question mark?
So I thought when I bought this originally, I just saw pear and I was like, "Ooh, pear cider sounds great." I didn't see because jalapeno is written in like cursive that basically blends into the can. And
Nice.
as soon as I cracked it, I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be spicy."
Oh,
So
there you go.
Did you
That's
get
pretty
the
good.
okay from your doctor to drink drinks again?
I've been feeling better,
Okay.
So I'm doing it less, but when I do, it's a special occasion.
Like
Aw.
I Choose You.
Yes.
Never a more special occasion. Does anyone else have a beverage they would like to share with the audience and the world at large?
I've got a new beer that I've never tried before called it's from Second Chance Brewery and it's called Tomorrow, West Coast IPA.
Get
It's a
that beer
fucking
for a second chance.
musical-esque beer name.
It kind of is. Yeah. This is my I want song.
Yes.
I want this beer.
Man, why hasn't someone written a musical set in like a microbrewery? And it's like people jumping up and down. It's like, we've got the hops, and then they like do a flip or something.
Oh man.
That would be really nice, actually. They could do like a Waitress-esque kind of like musical where instead of like Sarah Bareilles writing all of the music, it's like, I don't know, Leonard Skinner or something.
Well, I don't know if you saw this today, but the last living member of Leonard Skinner died this weekend. So,
They need a musical about beer in their honor.
yes.
Whoa, I didn't know that. I don't know why. That must have just been fucking cosmic that it came through my head because I haven't really thought about Leonard Skinner in forever. Rip, I guess. I don't know.
So you don't want Lin-Manuel Miranda to write like a rap about an IPA or whatever?
I mean, Lin-Manuel could do it, but I don't know. I feel like people have their own opinions about In the Heights. They have their own opinions about Hamilton. Like,
In the
I want
Hops.
this to... In the Hops. Fuck. Oh, that's good, though.
Call the show Hip Hops.
Ah,
Ooh.
fuck. Oh, okay.
Not one, not two, but three IPA.
God. But... I
What?
mean, yes, but also like I feel like the star power of Lin-Manuel would kind of take away from the
From
concept a little bit. I feel like it
Uh-huh.
would come off as a little amateurish, just
Yeah.
to be
We
frank.
need more of a Sondheim to make
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
we need to bring Stephen Sondheim back from the dead and be like, could you give us like the guy who kills people, which Sweeney Todd, but with beer.
But beer.
Yeah.
or alternatively, like the kids who enjoyed Frozen when it first came out could probably drink now. So we need to like write something that appeals to the Disney crowd.
Oh God, Lopez and I don't remember the other person's name from Frozen, but Lopez and company should write a song, and then we get Idina Menzel. I'm sure she's not busy. with
Oh,
anything.
hey.
Could be like our plucky heroine who's like, I just
Yep.
moved to this town. And maybe it's like a Romeo and Juliet story where there's like two competing microbreweries, and there's a romance between like different people, and then they all come together at the end.
I like
It'd be a
this.
Good like Frozen throwback. It's like when the can turns blue, it's cold outside.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what? Fucking, why don't the people who made like fucking like The Greatest Showman give us like $20, and we could this will be fucking Best Picture winner. The Oscars are this week. This is gonna happen. We're gonna make it happen. I'm gonna crash the fucking stage and say, look, I've got the greatest idea of all time.
Brewery musical.
Yeah.
A brucicle,
Anyway.
if you will.
A brucicle.
Jeremy, this is your quest for an EGOT.
Yes.
What I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm gonna write this musical. I'm gonna win my Tony, and then we're gonna do a cast album. Almost said Emmy. No, Grammy. Adapted to a 10-part Netflix series. Emmy. And then last but not least, I write the screenplay. Oscar. There you go. Fucking, I did it. I'll be like Viola Davis this last year, the latest EGOT winner. That's a fun fact for you. But yes,
Big shoes to fill.
Yes, big. I mean, hey, it's a steep job, but I'm gonna take it.
Can we, instead of having like a scene where two characters like do a little tap dance routine, instead it's very intricate can cracking, and it's in time with the music.
Like stomp.
Just have hundreds of cans. But yeah.
Oh shit! And they're like some of them are small too.
Yes.
And yeah, it's kind of like a stomp thing where it's like,
Yeah.
and it's like kind of like like a vibraphone or something like that. Maybe there's one that's like under a big like gong or timpani, and it lets out like a boom, like a big resonant crack at the very end. That'd be pretty cool.
All percussion for the score. That's except for the singing.
Fuck! It's not a timpani drum. It's the fucking brewery like silo, right on the very top, and it echoes all the way. It's like reverberates all the way through.
You hit it with like a big hammer, and it makes a loud noise.
Yes. Oh man, think of all the great factory montage, like dance sequences you could do. Factory-esque dance sequences you could do in this brewery. Like maybe steam starts to like pop out somewhere because they're like getting too crazy near these pipes.
Yeah.
It all whistles.
Yes.
Yeah. Man.
So I can't believe we haven't come up with a good name for this thing yet.
I mean, like in the hops is pretty good.
Something the Brusical, definitely. That's like the
Ratatouille. The Brusical.
Idina Menzel plays the rat in this Ratatouille, the Brusical, where she ratatouilles someone into becoming a master brewer.
So does that mean she basically like stands on someone's shoulders for the entire musical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's like a floating platform that she's on top of the entire time, and she's always just like above the person.
She pulls a Rihanna.
Yes.
And yeah.
As they're going around.
Every scene that takes place underneath the guy's hat, there's a platform she goes to, like what's his nuts in the giant peach style.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a platform she's on, and there are like ropes that she like grabs and like is acting.
Pretend that it's hair. Yeah.
Yes.
That's really good. Man, that's a really good idea. Fuck.
Well, yeah. Why hasn't Disney done a Ratatouille musical yet? Come on, guys.
Like
there was a whole
not a TikTok one.
I was gonna say we just need to bring this clip to TikTok and let them make the musical for us.
Right.
The Brusical.
The Brusical.
Well, it sounds like honestly, this is a real choosical if we're being serious. But Ben, how was your beer?
It's really tasty. It's very well balanced. It's got a lot of it's not too overly citrusy, which usually I love a good citrus, kind of flowery, fruity IPA. This one's not that style, but I enjoy it all the same.
Wow, that's
quite tasty.
It's good. That's good to hear. And we'll incorporate that kind of terminology into the Brusical, where it's like not too bitter, just sweet enough. It's like they're describing a beer, but they could also be describing their love.
Oh.
What's your name, darling? It's Amber. Amber Ale.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, and then like maybe the she is like it's the Romeo and Juliet situation that we were talking about before, and her dad is like Ignotus, Peter Ale, IPA, if you will.
Nice.
And he's like, there's no way you're gonna go mess around with them loggers down the street at the logger house. I don't know what they would call this other rival brewery.
Maybe at the other place is a cider house.
Cider house. Ooh, okay. Yes, indeed.
There you go.
They're like, there ain't no way we're putting fruit in our drinks. It's barley only.
Well, the ales are like, we're bitter, and then the other people are like, we're sweet, and this the conflict in the drink world.
The other one's like, there's no way we're putting any grains in our alcohol. It's only fruit over here.
All right, fucking lock it. Ka-chink. Copyright. Don't steal. Well, I have a cider. It's a Sandia watermelon cider, and I think that's got us good to move into an important segment of the show, which is the news. Have you guys heard that it's actually happening? Detective Pikachu 2 confirmed.
Oh,
Wow.
did they take our ideas?
Yes.
Did they cast Joe Pesci?
Hey, wait, is Ryan Reynolds making a return or is it someone else?
No, well, here's the thing. The director and stars aren't returning. They're just making a sequel. I don't know who this Pikachu is going to be and what he's detecting, but it's a sequel without any of the characters from the first movie.
Is it called Detective Pikachu?
I hope
It better be.
If it isn't,
This
they're
is when we
leaving
finally
money
get
on the
Danny
table.
DeVito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you really could call it Detective Pikachu 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, Electric
Hmm.
Pikachu.
Yes.
Electric Pikachu.
So 2025, I guess, is when this
Oh.
movie's coming out.
You're fucking
So
dead by then. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, seriously.
fucking hit by a meteor, all that jazz. But yeah, mark your calendars. Detective Pikachu 2 is happening. I know, Ian, you were asking about this a little while ago. If you want, listeners, if you're new to the show, we have a episode about Detective Pikachu on the podcast feed. If you want to listen to get our literal like day of opinions of the movie.
That was so long ago.
It was
I
4
can't
years
believe
ago.
how long ago that was.
Yeah.
I still have the cards from.
Me too.
Oh,
I've been
wow.
meaning to frame them.
Think they're
Frame
worth anything?
To me.
Not yet.
Oh, there you
No.
go. Sentimental
I
value.
don't know.
That's
Have you
what-
checked the eBay
Oh.
lately?
Mm. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Maybe-
who? Someone's like, you know what? This 4-year-old easily distributed card that was part of this movie. I actually really want to pay a lot of money for it. I would love to pay a lot of money for it.
Oh yeah, I would gladly give you $400 today for a Detective Pikachu Tuesday.
it is pre-COVID cards.
Yeah,
That's true.
Hey,
Maybe
you can
it's
get a
like-
solid $5.99 is what they're running for.
Nice.
$5.
And by that you mean
$5.
$599, correct?
I wish, yeah.
Maybe it's like, you know how surgical steel has to be like extracted from like ships that are deep under the ocean because after like we used nuclear bombs, it like has radiated all the metal, and so we like
What?
can't use that in surgical equipment. You know what I'm
I
talking
did
about?
not know that.
yeah, it's weird.
No.
Oh,
The
that
more you
circulates pretty fucking frequently on the TIL Reddit.
Okay.
But yeah, like all like surgical, like the the shit that like is pre-packaged and they open it up for your show you that it's fresh. That stuff like can't be because it I don't fucking someone Pokemaniac Chris I'm sure will have something to say about it. But my point being, these cards are pre-COVID, so there's no COVID on it.
They're safe for your consumption.
Ian, you did have COVID. Did you breathe on these cards when that happened?
No, they're safe.
Excellent.
that's-
Well,
that's
I'm
how
sure
it works.
I'm sure someone would buy that. I don't know who, but someone would.
You can
Um,
include maybe pre-COVID in the like description, like in the headline. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
like Detective Pikachu, Pokemon card, rare, pre-COVID, mint condition, untouched. You know, PSI 10 or whatever they use. You know.
Yeah.
Every time I sell anything, I put BC.
before COVID.
Mementos
Well-
of a simpler time.
I will say that 2019, whenever I think about 2019, which again is 4 years ago, it's like, damn, fuck. Everything after it is like fake. Like that was the last real year, and everything since then has been a weird gelatinous ooze that you move through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even now.
Agreed.
But what are we going to do about that? I don't know. But you know what we can do about it is cook and eat Pokemon here on I Choose You. Each week, we select a new Pokemon that we create a unique, exciting, and delectable recipe for. And then we share that recipe with not just each other, but the entire world. And then we vote about who has the best recipe in a very democratic fashion. This week's Pokemon is Sylveon, the Eevee evolution introduced in Gen 6. It's fun. It's a fairy type. It's got a little bow tie. Good time was had by all. So we're going to share our recipes now. So who won last week? I don't remember. That was a week ago.
Evan did.
Evan.
It was me.
'Twas me who won the last competition. Evan, give us your recipe.
All right. Well, this week, I don't know if it'll resonate with many of you, but this is like a meal that I would normally make as very like, I don't know, good like comfort food. You know, when you're just like trying to get a quick meal out and you just want something that's like going to soothe your soul.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is I was taking a look at Sylveon and its wonderful flowing ribbons. And it reminded me a little bit of like ribbon pasta, like bow tie pasta.
Ooh, yes.
A little bit. Yeah. So you got to
Excellent.
basically you got to chop off all of the ribbons. Though I'm essentially just presupposing that that's like ready to go dough, pasta dough.
Yes.
It's
A
just
la
floating around.
Alakazam pasta mustache.
Essentially, yeah, of course. So yeah, you're gonna take that off, and you gotta basically like chop it into little bits, and then you gotta do a little bit of ribboning yourself. So you use like two forks to so you pinch it together, and then you use two forks to kind of push on the sides and make a little ribbon.
Nice.
And then you basically boil all that pasta up, and with the rest of the Sylveon, we're gonna make a delicious sausage. So
yes.
bring out your meat grinder and do as you will, stuff that Sylveon into that casing, and you're good there. And so to put it all together, you've got your pasta, and you got your sausage, and for a little bit of like a sauce, it's like a nice zesty sauce. I like to use champagne dressing. It's really light and really like lemony, and it's really good. So mix all the three of those together, and you've got like a delicious, to me, comfort food sort of meal that takes like 5 minutes to make.
Nice.
If you're not making sausage and pasta from scratch.
Right, yeah. If you already have pasta and sausage, then you're halfway there. It sounds like.
Evan, is the meat of the Sylveon colored in the same way? Is it like white and pink and blue?
Ooh, it's like cotton candy colored sausage. I like that idea.
Each section is different. So Sylveon's a fairy type. What kind of, like, when I think sausage and a pasta, I think kind of like a spicy Italian sausage. What kind of flavor experience would I be getting from the Sylveon sausage?
This one I'm imagining like a little sweeter, so not quite the same as like a chicken and apple sausage, but like among that sort of vein of sausage flavors, So it's a little on the sweeter side.
That's kind of what I was imagining, what you're describing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There you go.
Do you know what bow tie pasta is actually called?
No.
Farfalle.
Oh, that's
Farfalle.
the farfalle?
Yes.
All right.
I made sure to look that up.
Did you have bow ties involved in your recipe, Jeremy?
Kind of. Well, thanks for asking, Ben. No, I went a different route. Obviously, Sylveon is big on the ribbons, and I associate kind of fairy types with sweetness, right? Because they kind of land in that candy-colored situation, which Sylveon definitely is. So what we're going to do is we're going to make ribbon candy out of Sylveon. And are you guys familiar with what ribbon candy is? It's usually around kind of like Christmas time, but it's no.
I was imagining like like the sour gummies that are just sort of like strips. That's what I was imagining when you said ribbon candy.
No, this is actually a little different. If I can find a good gosh darn link, but it's kind of like, it looks like a ribbon you would wrap like a Christmas present in. It's like wiggly, and it's a kind of a hard, a little bit hard, like kind of like a taffy, but a little harder situation, so it can retain its shape a little better. I'm going to throw a pic in the chat so you guys can look at what I'm getting at. I'm sure you might have seen it before, like kind of at a Christmas display.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the ribbons from the Sylveon, and we're going to like mortar and pestle that up nice and powdery. You want all of that literal fairy dust, like no better way of saying that. We're going to use that as our flavor agent in the ribbon candy that we're going for. The recipe I'm looking at is for kind of peppermint because it's leaning for a Christmas theme. But I think I'm fine going with what I would. I have no idea what the fairy dust flavor would kind of be. Maybe like a zingy blueberry kind of flavor is what I would go for.
Berry-ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Sylveon, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to make it's basically a recipe for hard candy. So you're going to get sugar, the Sylveon, corn syrup, water. I don't know if we want any extracts in it, but if you want to throw something in there, maybe like vanilla, you can get you going. I'm gonna get a nice thing of water. We're gonna start boiling it. Mix our ingredients together. Make sure it cooks to a temperature of 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you're gonna cook it more to a 285 degrees Fahrenheit, and not a single degree higher, or your candy will be fucked up. You're gonna pour it out on a baking sheet, let it cool, and then you're gonna, after it's done, you're gonna cut it into slices, roll it out, flatten it, and then make the wavy ribbon pattern. And you're gonna dust it a little more with maybe some powdered sugar or something a little light so it can retain its shape a little bit. You're gonna let it set overnight, bring it out, and you got kind of like a little bit of a little taffy, a little hard substance. Gonna crack onto it, and it goes perfect on a birthday gift or a Christmas kind of holiday celebration.
Oh, so these are thicker than like Airheads Extremes. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Because in the picture, I immediately imagined like, ooh, it's like kind of gummy. It's a little chewy, but no, if it's a little more like on the taffy side, then maybe it's different.
It's a little harder than chewy. It'll crack a little bit, but it will it won't be like you're eating like a jawbreaker kind of situation.
I see.
It like kind of like you take a bite from like the long strip and it like cracks off from the rest of it. I'm assuming, and then, but then it's like a little hard and like it's a little hard in your mouth as it were.
Yes, yeah, it'll start to like disintegrate in your mouth, and then you can start chewing it. Yeah,
it's not chewy like Airheads Extremes.
It's not chewy like Airheads Extremes. I'll give you that. No,
They're so good though.
They are Airheads Extremes. If you want, we could throw in some sour powder in there, just as a variation. But that's my recipe this week.
Is this something that originated like? Is it a candy that came about from like people making it for things, or did it come from a company? Like, is it a branded candy or is it like a person candy?
I couldn't tell, Ben. I don't know. I just know it exists.
Okay, yeah, you don't have to have an answer. I'm just curious.
And corporations are people too.
Yeah,
oh my god! Get the fuck out of here, Citizens United, for the United States. Not on my podcast.
I looked up ribbon candy, and it's like all like, please buy this ribbon candy. So
please,
I actually don't know,
because it seems like it'd be kind of complicated to do by yourself.
Yes.
Which is why I was wondering. But you know, things like taffy originated with normal people doing it before.
Yes.
Yeah, the people.
Apparently, though, in 1886, Dr. Lasky invented the very first mechanical candy crimper to make the ribbons instead of the human thumb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that implies some sort of human origination.
Yeah.
With
robot intervention. But yeah, I would definitely say it comes from love at first, but then it's been commercialized like Coke.
Okay, gotcha.
Like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
But that's my recipe. Any further questions?
I want to try it.
I do too.
Oh man, and on the topic of candy, I actually meant to bring this up at a different episode, but recently we were hanging out with some of Asia's friends, and we went to a gas station to get some snacks beforehand, and they got spicy like Mexican food style, like spicy coated gushers, and those were crazy. They were really good. They really just took like normal ass gushers and just like coated them in like hot sauce and like tahini and everything, and it was really good.
Sounds good. It's like I had those like sour gummies or spicy gummies that I purchased at a alcoholic beverage store in San Diego, which were quite delightful. So I wonder if it's similar to that.
It was the same company. Yeah.
There you go. That sounds great.
We need more spicy candy. I'm sure that
Agreed.
some exists. I need more in my life because I feel like I'm over the regular stuff. I need something new.
New dessert.
Yes.
Yeah,
New
I need
candy.
new dessert. Oh.
Excellent. Ben, why don't you share with us what your recipe is this week?
Surely. So Sylveon is a lovely Pokemon, as we can all attest, I'm sure. But it is also the most transgender Pokemon, which I think is a beautiful thing.
Most.
And in the tradition of this show and Ian's research methods, I had to type in, based off of this information, I had to type in most trans food because I was exactly. I had to get down to the bottom of it. Like someone must have had this question before.
Is the answer not fats?
Well, that was the first thing to show up. And so I had to specify it to most famous trans food.
Okay.
Which actually didn't yield me anything. But I did find this Reddit post that is someone else asking what is the most trans food. My wife asked me how I wanted to celebrate Trans Visibility Day, and I want a dinner. So now we're trying to decide what the, quote, most trans food is. What do you think it is and why? And there's like hundreds and hundreds of comments of people, kind of commenting all their different thoughts on the subject, sharing some data, as it were. And in true, Tumblr poll fashion, we end up with a kind of an interesting recipe here. So then the original person comes back and edits. We collectively on this Reddit post decided to have a deep dish pizza with pickles and tater tots on it. We'll have trans fats from the tater tots, and pickles provide, pickles. Which I actually looked up. It turns out that when you're on hormone therapy, you really crave pickles, apparently. Very, explicitly pickles. You've helped me decide for our celebratory dinner, but keep with going. We need to know what to make for trans celebrations year-round. Blah, blah, blah. This was a year ago. So I don't know if there's been any updates on this recipe, but I figured that I should bring this recipe to our court of cuisine. And make for you a Sylveon deep dish pizza with tater tots and pickles on it. And we've talked about, pizza with pickles on it. I actually did look this up, that it's kind of a thing that there are pizzas with tater tots on it, like in the Midwest. So these things are cross-contaminating in the best possible way.
Yeah. I mean, Ben, your mom told me on New Year's Eve that she was like, "Oh, pickles, they're going to be everywhere on your pizza in just months." And I'm like, okay, sure, I guess so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Watch out for the tater tots with pickle pizza coming to a restaurant near you saying trans rights. And so what I thought we could do to incorporate Sylveon into this is use the fairy dust sweetness of Sylveon, which I imagine you can just kind of, take Sylveon, hold it up, and then kind of just drink, Tinkerbell style, and fairy dust just kind of comes sprinkling out, which I feel like you can just substitute for sugar,
So Ben, are you saying that you don't want to kill the Sylveon to get its fairy dust?
No, definitely not. I want to be. I'm on good terms with the Sylveon, and I just grab it, go dink, 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 and then I have my sugar, all the sugar that I need.
Will you play that Archie song while you're getting it?
So basically, we're going to be using our sugar to make our pickles, and we're then going to put those pickles on our pizza. So
will the pickles get the colors of the Sylveon?
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll have I don't think you can really translate the colors just from the Sylveon dust. So you might have to add some food coloring to make it happen, but you'll have to make a couple batches with the white, pink and blue food coloring and get some pickles. But in that brine with the food coloring, you're gonna that brine is gonna have pickling salt, and you're going to also include some vinegar, sugar from your Sylveon, some celery seed, and some dill. And so then you're gonna heat that up, and then you're gonna pour it over your cucumbers. And then you let it sit for like a couple days, and then you're gonna break it out for your deep dish pizza, which I'm sure we're all familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
The like casserole approach with the cheese on the bottom, sauce on top, and then
Lovely.
you're gonna lay out your pickles. You're gonna take your tater tots right out of the fryer, plop those on top, get a nice table with all your friends, and enjoy a lovely Sylveon surprise.
Is that what you're calling it?
I guess. I don't know. It just kind of
Took a
came out that way.
Well, what if you're like, ooh, I got the Sylveon surprise at your like Italian restaurant? And they're like, what is it? And you're like, ah, that's the surprise. And then like they bring it out and it's like pink, blue, and white pickles on a giant pizza. And they're like, that is surprising in certain regards. Do you have like singular pickles? Because I'm assuming that the pickles are like sliced before they're put on the pizza. Do you have like
Yes.
long boys sticking out like candles on top of it?
You are correct that they are sliced. We're yeah, exactly.
So I kind of having a hard time imagining like making a white pickle, but I'm wondering if you could do like a white sauce with blue and pink pickles.
Oh, okay. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. I agree. Yes, because a white pickle would be hard to pull off. You'd probably just have to put like paint in it, which that's not food safe. That's not good. No one wants to eat that. But the pink and blue ones are definitely going to get the food coloring, and then yeah, like cheese on the bottom layer, white sauce on top, and then pickles, and then tater tots.
Excellent.
I like that.
Excellent. All right. I don't, look, all more power to your mom and these people who invented this recipe, but I'm moderately skeptical of pickles on pizza. I'm sure it's like okay, but I don't know. It's one of those things where I would have to give it a go. Ian, yes.
I'd be so fucking down for like a what are the real sweet fuckers that are sliced?
The
bread
like
and butter.
bread and butter
pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be super down for that with like some sort of meat,
Mhm.
Perhaps a sausage.
maybe. I'd consider it.
There is like a hamburger pizza, right? That's a thing. So it's like one step away, right?
No, I can't
No?
do that. That turns
Okay.
me off.
That turns you off. Oh, okay.
I don't
Like,
want
Ian
my
walks into the
hamburger
pizza
and my
store
pizza to mix.
rock hard, and he's like, "Oh, hamburger," and then it just immediate deflation. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. There's a guy with a slide whistle behind him.
Yep.
Letting everyone know. What? I guess it's ground beef, but how's that any different than like sausage hamburger?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. What?
I don't
why-
think there's anything
why
wrong with
not-
the hamburger pizza,
Well,
why not?
quite honestly.
Jeremy, you're getting into dangerous territory here, which you're implying. What's the difference between a hot dog and a hamburger?
Oh, God. Jesus Christ.
It's just ground meat.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I guess you know what if hold on, guys.
What if you took the hamburger or the hot dog meat and took it out of the casing, made it a patty?
No, I was gonna say the exact opposite. What if we put a hamburger in a casing and then cooked it?
Whoa.
Like
Hamburger
sausage.
sausage.
Yes.
Now you're
Whoa.
thinking.
Has anyone done that before?
I'm-
I mean, they must have, right? They
Maybe-
must have.
Certainly, right? We can't be the first people coming up with this.
Look up hamburger hot dog right now.
So what if
Strange.
it's not it's like really flat and wide casing that you get for your hamburger sausage. So it's still like it's got that like snap to it when you bite into it for your hamburger. I don't know. That sounds like it could work out. That's all I'm saying. This could be a real thing.
I just want to like get this for the record. You would eat a disc hamburger snappy brat, but you're wondering if pickles on a pizza is gonna tickle you. You're like, yeah, sign me up for that. I want to like fucking jam my eye out when that thing snaps.
It's like got the tension of the wires that like catch airplanes on carrier vessels in the ocean, where like you bite into it and it like cuts your like the top half of your face off kind of situation.
You want that, but like get fucked if that gherkin bird comes anywhere near my pizza.
Why is a fucking like stork selling me pickles? It should be selling me babies. Anyway,
The Alton Brown of the group works in mysterious ways. Don't question his logic.
You're right.
well, I will debate you with logic and facts. That's all I'm saying.
Straight facts.
But Ian, what's your recipe this week?
I also wanted to take a sweet twist on it. I did initially try to go down Ben's route. I was looking up like, transgender food,
What do
gay
trans people
food,
eat?
the gayest food.
Look, I don't, this just sounds like such a like weird, like, oh, we need to find out the gay foods, like kind of situation.
Okay, well, so here's one thing that I don't know. Maybe was Jeremy? Were we talking about this? I don't remember, but I was having this conversation with someone the other day that was like, not to say like sandwiches have gender, right? Because we have several gendered sandwiches. It's like the croque madame, croque monsieur binary, right? And I remember talking about
general is super.
I mean, like, so I was thinking that, peanut butter and jelly sandwich is like a classic non-binary sandwich. Like it rides the line between them,
Okay. So would you say like a grinder is male?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, not. Yeah, I would give a grinder a he, him for sure. Yeah.
Meatball sub male.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Ruben.
See, that could go either way.
Ruben,
Hey, that's
Ruben's
pretty...
a he-they for me. That's a strong he-they.
Okay.
We're gonna have a spin-off where that just outs these sandwiches.
Sandwich pronouns.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. Cubano.
Well, so I think that was another one that I was talking about because I think. Oh no, okay. I remember it was a friend of ours from Santa Fe that we were talking with, and we went somewhere to go eat, and on the menu was a cubana, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like this is good, but it's not a cubano." And then we looked at the menu, it was like, "It's a cubana," and then we were like, gender, blah blah blah, whatever. So there's that dynamic too, where I don't know.
Was it different than a regular Cubano sandwich in a way? Did it like not have a pickle or no mustard?
I think it was just like different kind of bread. Like it wasn't as it was just a different type of bread. I don't know. That's what Chris said, but
thumbs down. All right. Well, if you want to send in your favorite sandwich genders, right into ichoosepod@gmail.com. But yes, Ian, continue.
So I couldn't find what I was hoping for. Like I found like a 2012 article from The Atlantic and talking about a New York Times article that this guy just like is like, yeah, Japanese food, yay.
Oh,
and like,
okay, all right.
Just like
nice.
I don't know if he wrote a book or he's just supposed to be like a comedian personality. He's like, oh, that food, yeah, pretty gay.
All right.
Is it because you don't use like a knife to eat it or something?
His example was like, yeah, they brought out a whole watermelon to me, and then they opened up the watermelon. There was ice and a single piece of raw fish on it, and that was.
What?
Certainly, I'm questioning my own sexuality.
Yeah.
2012 was a different time for everybody.
It was a different time.
I mean, it kind of was.
And it's a different time now. So I turned away from that, and I decided to look at Sylveon and think like, it's sweet, the colors are nice, chantilly cake.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna get into like how you make a fucking vanilla cake, because if you don't know how to do that, you're listening to the wrong show.
I'm not gonna help you in any way.
But if you are wondering how to make chantilly cream, get some cream cheese, some butter, some mascarpone, powdered sugar, almond extract, vanilla extract, heavy whipping cream, and some sort of like stabilizer. This recipe is using instant pudding mix, but any whipped cream stabilizer will do. And this is how you do it. You make the vanilla cake, and then you fucking frost it.
Okay.
Done.
It's a cake. I don't know what to say. Like
The first step in this frosted vanilla cake is to take your vanilla cake and frost it.
yeah.
Yeah, just imagine Ian on his Food Network show and he like turns around in his chair. He's like, I know you already fucking know how to make a cake. So I'm gonna fucking skip that. I don't know you already frosted your cake, so here you go. It's fucking done.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop getting like cooking shows for kids that explain how to make every fucking thing. And we get a show where it's like, no, I know you know how to do this because you're not 10. It's like the Pokemon games. When are we gonna get one for the adults? I know that pressing B makes me run. I don't need a fucking 2-hour tutorial on it.
Well, I hope the Pokemon game for adults just makes the Gardevoir sexier.
That too.
Just turns the characters up to 11.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, like you take like your first layer of the cake, and then you frost it, and then what makes a chantilly cake besides the chantilly frosting is of course the fresh berries that go into it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna use blueberries and strawberries. Keep it classic. Goes with the coloring too.
Oh yeah.
You layer that on, and then guess what? You put another fucking layer of the cake. You frost that. You put the berries on it. Out. You're not gonna believe this. Do that again. Do it as
So
fucking
aggressive.
fast as you want. I don't care.
How many times should we do this?
I don't care.
A cake can be however tall you want it to be.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you think he gives a rat's ass?
Yeah.
How many?
Could make
Stack
it
that
so
shit
big I can like live on it.
Yeah. I don't. It's like the guy with the fucking hats and the monkey. You know what I'm talking about?
Hats
Yeah.
for sale.
Yeah.
Caps for sale. Yeah.
Yeah, cast for
Hats
sale.
for
Excuse me.
Cake for sale.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ian has like a bunch of cakes on his head and he like takes them off and like sells them to you.
Yeah. And you do that, and then you frost like the whole outside of it, make it look really nice. You put some shit on top.
Is that the cops?
Yeah.
Can they hear us?
There's a lot of fire truck commotion outside.
It's because
Oh,
there's recipe.
Continue. Yeah. Yeah.
And I should have mentioned when you're making the frosting, definitely you're not gonna like hurt the Sylveon, but like drape its little ribbon in there to like let it like infuse.
Gotcha.
Maybe like the milk you use to make the cake, you like let it
Have the
kinda,
Sylveon run in it.
yeah. It
It's like
plays
that
around.
episode of Futurama where they're like, or The Simpsons, where they're brewing beer and it's like, tastes like dog. And they cut to 2 dogs running around in the brewery.
That's gonna be in our musical.
Yes.
Nice. Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, you let the Sylveon, do its thing in there, and then it gives a little extra, little sweet. So Sylveon Chantilly.
I like it.
We went out to brunch the other weekend and had these pancakes that were very chantilly with like the mascarpone involved and the fruit and the powdered sugar. I was just like, oh my god, this is delectable. And your recipe sounds good.
Excellent.
Sounds like a lot of cake.
Well, I mean, it's as tall as you want it to be.
It can be as big or as small as you want. Again, I don't care.
Okay.
Who gives a shit, Ben? Will it be rainbow colored or white, pink, and blue like the Sylveon? I guess that's my overriding question of the evening.
Well, it's white, and then you cut into it, and it's got the berry colors.
Mm.
That's all you need.
Does the berries and cream guy sing the song while you eat it?
Of course.
Yeah, that's mandatory.
All right, great.
It's like the Pokeball guy, but
good. Is that your future job opportunity? Is being the guy with the big Pokeball on his head?
my ass isn't tight enough.
What?
Evan, the
Come on,
Pokeball guy is ripped. I don't know.
Everyone wants to fuck Mr. Pokeball.
I think I'm missing out on something here.
It's from Sword and Shield.
Yes.
The guy who has like the Pokemon mascot head at the
got it.
beginning of the gyms. Yeah.
All I know is apparently there's a delivery guy in the new game that everyone's like, oh, he's so hot, kind of situation. But
Is he?
Delivery guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking mailman. I don't know what it is.
I am still in the middle of Scarlet. I've never finished it, but I don't remember a mailman. However, almost all of the characters in the Scarlet and Violet games are very attractive. So
they know what they did.
Hotter than the Pokeball Man, though.
Hotter than the Pokeball Man. I don't know. I mean, the Pokeball Man, ball guy really is giving it. I mean, he's ripped. He's ripped.
He's fit.
Did you find some not safe search?
34.
It was too safe, so I put Pokeball Man hot.
No.
It went too far. It went too deep.
Nice. All right.
All right. This is the guy. Apparently, this guy is what everyone's freaking out about. So I'll put this these characters, they're too hot to handle. Not the guy watching the video, obviously, but the character.
What the?
He's also pretty ripped. Dang.
He's
He's just like an NPC.
Yeah.
He's just like a random dude.
He's got
Nice.
X though.
I guess. I don't
Also,
know.
Really busting out of their polos.
Yeah.
well, I want to ask you guys, what is this shirt? Because it's like a turtleneck, but it also has buttons on the front, but it's also not a button up, and it's got a pocket.
I hate it.
Uniform, Ian.
I hate it. I would. Ball guy's my guy. There's no way I'm going over to this fool.
Yeah, okay.
Tight shorts and a polo buttoned all the way up.
Yes.
Sexy. This guy's
All right. Let's review our recipes from this week. From Evan, we have Sylveon Farfalle. From me, we have Sylveon ribbon candy. From Ben, we have Sylveon pizza with tater tots and pickles. From Ian, we have Sylveon chantilly cake. Everyone, please vote. And Ben, let us know who the winner mon is.
Truly, I shall. Got 3 responses. I've got 4 responses, and you would not believe, but Ian Davis, the quote-unquote ball guy of the show, has won this episode with 3 votes.
Nice.
Chantilly cake's good.
Chantilly
It's
cake
pretty good.
It is
really,
good.
really took the cake with that one.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh ho, indeed.
Saving that the whole show.
And I
excuse
got
me.
Ian's vote.
Okay. Excellent. All right, now it's time to move on to the mail section of the show. It's called Wailord's Mail Orders, where we read your email sent into ichoosepod@gmail.com. That's ichewspod@gmail.com. Evan, can you read this email from Mike?
All right. Mike says, "Hello, boys. We made it. The newest evolution. You crazy bastards, you finally did it." Said nicely. It's a cold and rainy Friday night, Saturday morning as I write this email. I hope it finds you well. Firstly, trans rights. Secondly,
Hell yeah.
Sylveon recipe. Immediately, I'm interested in those luxurious ears. And when you think of ears, what come to mind? Moment of reflection. That's right. Corn.
Oh,
Like the band Corn. Sounds from Freak on a Leash.
Nice.
I get it now.
Yeah, like an ear of corn.
Obviously, because fairy types taste sweet, that's probably candy corn. All right, that's a dead end. Did I tell you about the summer abroad I studied at the prestigious Colossian Culinary Institute? The classes, boutique. The professors, fantastique. The food, magnifique.
Yes.
And this is where I learned the skills to create today's recipe. To you, the boys, I bring to the table 4 Sylvie macaroons.
Yes.
Macarons? I don't know. Firstly, we're making the shells for our macaroons. We're going to start off by extracting a lot of sugar from our Sylveon. I assume you just toss your Sylveon whole hog into a turbinado machine, which is clearly a relative to the kitchen mulcher. From there, we need to make our tante portante, which is a simple base for pastries made of equal parts almond flour and sugar, that we obtain from Sylveon. We're next going to mix the TPT mix with eggs in a food processor to fluff them up and add a little bit of pink food coloring to one batch and blue to another batch. Next, line a baking sheet with parchment paper. Use a pastry bag. Using a pastry bag, we're going to plop small circles. Let them sit for 30 minutes before baking at 275 for 15 or so minutes. Let cool for 1 hour before we add our stuffing. Now, I know what you're all thinking. Savory macarons, right? I was going to go with an avocado and go-go cheese filling, but I felt that clashed aesthetically. I agree. Instead, I think we're going to make smoked salmon mousse filling for our Sylvie macarons. We're going to mix some cream cheese, ricotta, go-goat ricotta preferred. See we got there. Paprika, dill, chopped capers, and smoked salmon in a food processor until a creamy consistency is achieved. Let chill for 30 minutes before loading a pastry bag and squirting an appropriate helping into a shell and top with another shell. Serve and enjoy. Bone apple tea, boys, Mike.
Nice.
I've never had a savory macaroon before.
Me
That'd
neither.
be interesting. I'd be willing to
I
try
haven't
it.
either. Pistachio is the furthest I've gotten.
I don't know if is pistachio savory? I guess nut is technically
Not
savory.
really. That's like I said, the furthest I've gotten.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be willing to give it a go though. I'm not opposed. Macaroons are fun. I like eating them,
Yeah.
even though they're probably like cost to size of food, like the worst deal in culinary history. But I do get that
It's
they're
the
hard to
art.
make. Yeah. So you have to live with it sometimes. That's why when someone gets them for me, I'm like, delightful. It's fun. All right, Ian, can you read this email from Edward?
I can. And reading through it before just now, I'm going to accuse Jeremy and Ben of, I don't know.
I don't even know how to use email.
But you know how to use Discord.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble cooking the Transrite Pokemon. It's just so cute. What do we do?
That's true. Yeah.
Must we cook it? I think not.
I
We can all
think
agree that fairy Pokemon naturally have a sweeter taste than our other common presuppositions. Fire, spicy; electric, sour; poison, good; rock, rocky, etc.
You're right, Ed.
Milcery and Alcremie definitely stand as our precedent for the fairy types. I'm actually going to be making a nice little treat out of a couple evolutions this evening. One striking characteristic of Sylveon I see are the ribbons. It's all about the ribbons. I'm sure the four of you have come up with beautifully savory dishes. Wrong.
Well,
And this
I mean, yes. Some people.
may be a great dessert for afterwards. We're making some ribbon candy-on. Exhibit A.
Nice.
The ribbons are ribbon candy, and this may be a hot take, but I think they grow back like hair on a Sylveon.
I hope the bow ties grow back like hair, like you cut them off and then it just grows back as a bow tie.
As a formed bow tie,
Yes.
you don't have to tie them yourself.
We'll snip some of that candy off, and while it can exist with that flavor palette just fine, why not add in some other evolutions? For a slightly more fiery approach, like a hard candy with tahine, shear a Flareon of its mane, I think its mane is cotton candy, and grind it up into a powder. We'll dip our ribbon candy into this powder, and out we come with a flaming hot exclamation point. Ribbon candy on treat exclamation point. On the flip side, we'll do the same thing. Shear a Jolteon, get that electric dust, and we'll coat our ribbons in this sparkling sour powder.
Nice.
We can use this process for really any evolution and other mons in general as well. However, using only the Eevee family makes a stronger branding opportunity.
True.
Of course.
And while we're at it, fuck inflation. I hate economics.
Hell yeah.
That's true.
Since this is all quite renewable, let's sell this for dirt fucking cheap. I'm thinking maybe a cent per piece. Penny ribbon candy on. It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it? No one will ever catch you paying a lot for this candy. Happy Tuesday to all. Ed.
Excellent. Thanks so much for writing in. That's once again ichoosepod@gmail.com. But we have some Discord submissions. I'm going to read this one from Amy. They write and say, I haven't caught up on episodes yet, but have a recipe. Let's get this out of the way. Look at the bow on your Sylveon. See how there's two, and see how they're open? Those observations don't really matter. What matters is that Sylveon is a shellfish. Those bows are their exoskeletal shells, which Sylveon is very much attached to. You may
Whoa.
have you may have heard the saying "happy as a clam," which comes from Sylveon's characteristic friendship evolution, but is also how trainers feel when they have access to this beautiful mollusk. It is well known that consumption induces an immediate calming effect, loosening up even the most clammed up of trainers. Sylveon's whole body, apart from the hard shells attached to its quote unquote head and quote unquote neck, is muscle, with the delicate retractable ribbon like feelers easily the most tender part of this invertebrate.
Oh, God.
Unlike regular shellfish, though, Sylveon can be eaten raw. After all, it is different from the typical filter feeders living on premium Poke Puffs in premium love and affection. For this recipe, pluck a feeler from the Sylveon and feed it some Poke Puffs to make it less angry at you. Slice this into small pieces across the width, stir into a wok on high heat with butter for about 5 minutes, then add a combination of Shaoxing wine, oyster sauce, garlic, ginger, soy sauce, and chopped far-fetched leek. Cook until everything looks and smells delicious. That's it. Your Sylveon stir fry is complete.
Nice.
Nice.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Wow. I wish we lived in a world where there was like mollusks that evolved to have like quadrupedal like body structures.
That's
so
terrifying.
like
Do
just
you?
walking clams.
Is that really what you want?
I mean,
But do you want to go to the beach and be like, the clams are out today? Just a bunch of like fucking like clams with legs out on the
it's like-
beach.
I'd
Yeah,
like to
it's
think they can't like see anything, so they're just wandering around bumping into stuff.
Keep your kids inside.
Yes.
yeah, it's like, that's why I have my AR-15 is to nail all those 30 to 50 feral fucking walking clams that are on the beach when I try to protect my children, okay?
Yes.
From
Ben,
the clam dog.
Are the walking clams, are they clam sized with like small legs, or are they large clams that are walking around like a giant clam that's walking around?
Oh.
I was kind of imagining kind of like a sea cucumber like body, like mollusk slimy body, but like clam face that kind of is like a puppet, and like it kind of barks like a dog too. It goes bark.
This is a very different animal.
I want one that's like the size and shape of a Saint Bernard, but instead of the little barrel around its neck, it's the shell.
Nice. Jeremy, you said walking clams, and now I can't stop thinking about like Walking Dead, but with clams.
Ooh, instead of The Last of Us,
The clams
Clam
of
of
us.
Us. Clam-based zombie movie.
You eat a clam, you turn into a clam.
Yeah.
To clam on to other people.
You start to become kind of like those pirates in like Pirates of the Caribbean 2 that have like all the barnacles and shit on their face. It's like you start to become clam people, and then you like, it takes over your brain. You have to like, go zombie mode on them.
Is it like
Clam people, clam people.
Exactly.
Wake
the
up,
cat, like,
people.
cat walks through the moonlight and it's like a clam while it passes through?
Yeah.
Oh, we're all just clams.
Look, HBO should give us more money. Yeah. We've already got them set for fucking life. Ben, this Pokemaniac Chris submission is quite long. I don't know if you want to read the whole thing.
It is quite long.
It's a weird
A
AI that he
multi-step
found.
process. Oh, it's an AI related recipe.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I will say it's funny that the AI calls Pokemon Pokepet.
Okay, so this seems like we need to talk about it. Okay, so I'll read it, but I might take a break in the middle as we're reflecting. And
we have to
having
consider
a good
this
time.
moment.
This is our second Pokemon. Okay. So the preface spoiler didn't work as I was unable to dispel ChatGPT's ethical concerns. Fortunately, I can always go back to my old friend GPT-2, which is completely insane, but has no moral qualms whatsoever about butchering and devouring Pokemon.
Good.
And I remember
finally, the AIs are too woke, so we have to go back to the unwoke AIs so that we can know if we can fucking eat these Pokemon.
Make AI unwoke again.
Oh god.
I do remember when Pokemania Chris would send in AI recipes, and that was even before the whole Dolly craze. I'll have everyone know.
Oh.
Yeah, the last 12 months. Yeah.
Okay, this is our second Pokemon from Johto in the US Pokedex, and it's a mystery even to us. What is this little blob that lives in space? Who made it? And why do people keep bumping into it in Pokemon Yellow?
I don't know, because it's there.
Does its main form of attack involve chasing out small people with its little ball? What is its history? What are its origins? What has made it into a sentient creature with feelings? These are all really good questions, actually.
This entire reading is going to be that scene from iRobot where he's like, "Can a robot compose a recipe?" And then the robot's like, "Can you?"
What's its favorite tea? It's a mystery, and it's why we've written this cookbook. It's about unlocking this Sylveon's past. In short, the logical way to crack the Sylveon's mystery is to cook with it.
Of course.
In this first recipe, we'll use a Poke Chef's culinary approach. We'll tackle it with the same scientific rigorand technique that the people who brought you the legendary Pokemon are known for.
God.
You'll be pleased to hear that we've worked out the recipe and all the Pokemon in it from memory. Rest assured. Step 1, take a bite of spoon, pick up a Pokepet, ... and drop it on the floor. In the West, this is called a miss. But this isn't a recipe for a Pokepet. It's a recipe for a dish.
In the West, this is called a miss.
Look, I know the robots are gonna get us one day, but they still can't fucking crack this shit. They don't know how to write a recipe for cooking and eating Pokemon.
Mind you, this is the first step. Okay, step 2, analyze Pokepet. To be more specific, note the 4 different parts of this dish. One of those parts is a full-grown Nuzleaf. Once you've harvested those fresh leaves, the only way you can use them is to slice the leaf off. That doesn't make it any less of a Pokepet. It's literally a cutting board on 4 leaf blades. If you go to this restaurant, there's no way you're ordering any of the appetizers on the menu. But you're in luck, your Pokepet is here. So there's no need to order anything, even though if you did, the waiter would probably get upset.
It's to kind of like bring your own meat to the restaurant situation.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Step 3, sealing your Pokepet in an airtight container. Of course it's sealable. You've got nutrients. You've got lots of nutrients for the dish on it, and you've got a taste of Nuzleaf. You don't want to spoil it. It's your Pokepet. Let's seal it for 4 weeks. Step 4. Shit. Okay. Sear meat. That's right. Poke the Pokemeat all over with a fork and sear it over high heat. There's a little granulated ash left over from the searing. So you can add it to your dish. We're using weedy local ferns so you can get a little flavor from the woody texture, but there's no need to go crazy with it.
I like to think that the robot put ash into the recipe because that's a thing for Pokemon, and it's like, oh, looking for words, and it's like we gotta put ash in here somehow.
Okay, so somehow step 5 is enjoy your dish, but there's 5 other steps. There's actually 7 other steps. I apologize. Step 5, enjoy your dish. Poke the dish as you would any other dish. I like that it's not able to realize that poke and poke are mean different things. Poke the dish as you would any other dish. This is really, really, really good. This book has a habit of giving you conflicting advice. So you might be wondering whether you should try the Pokepet yourself. Well, you should. Don't try to slice it. The flesh is tough enough to survive hitting the ground. We're sorry to have put you off. Okay, this is starting to get into just like random phrases that don't just, Okay. Step 6, do not let your dish sit for a week in the oven. Since there are no restrictions on how long it can sit in an oven, we're not very, very good at it, so we're going to make something new.
Okay.
Step 7, beef. You have 7 minutes to you have 7 minutes to thaw your nuzleaf in a bowl. Step
You
8.
have 7 minutes.
That's why you need to get it out beforehand. You don't want the robots to be like, you have 7 minutes. It's like a cutthroat kitchen.
Yeah. Step 8, soak your molded rice in warm water. Turn your mold-covered plate over. Use a spoon to swirl the water around and slosh it around the place. The verbs are really interesting to me. Like
sloppy steak section.
Yeah. Slosh around the plate, try the water in your dish, dance like an idiot. That's what you should be doing. Step 9, take small mouthfuls of rice. Now rice that has the flavor of nuzleaf. Now rice that has the flavor of sushi. That's all one sentence. The rice has been soaked in nuzleaf's flour. We're keeping the rest of the dish simple to avoid overwhelming it. But you don't need to be frightened. If you like sashimi, you'll enjoy this.
Okay.
Step 10, add meat. You can use any meat you like.
Nice.
Step 11, experiment with garnishes. You can get any garnishes you like.
Nice.
Step 12, serve. Just as your Pokepet was caught on a net, so your dish is finally served on a Poke-to-go paper plate wrapped in foil. So it's like this. The Pokepet and the rice are the real dish. The garnishes are the things bought in the store and put on a plate. And the original Pokepet and rice are the thing that just got cooked and looked a little bit like a Pokemon.
just a little bit.
So let me summarize this for you. It's like this.
Don't get it twisted. It looks a little bit like a Pokemon. You might have to think about that beforehand.
Okay, there's more. There's one more thing, but I like to just end on it actually getting Pokemon at the very last word of the recipe, that it actually lands on Pokemon.
It's so funny that this fucking robot can't tell the difference between Poke and Poke.
Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. Holy shit.
Look, I know there's a lot of concerns about robots taking jobs from artists and writers. But I'm happy to learn that they're not going to take our fucking job yet. They can't fucking crack this nut.
No one can.
4 more years.
All right.
4 more years. Oh yeah, the anniversary actually happened. Blah blah blah. Woo! Yay! We're 4 years old now.
Well, we're gonna do the next section, which is Pick'emon, where I pick next week's Pokemon. Usually it's randomly generated, but Gen 6 has so few Pokemon that I'm just gonna go up to the next one that isn't related to one that we've previously done, and for the first time in a long time, that is going to be a legendary. Nope, not a rock. It's going to be a legendary. And this week, we're going to talk about Xerneas. Next week.
Oh.
All right.
Got some fucking horns.
Putting the X in Pokemon X.
Oh. How Pokemon XY the most gender of all of the Pokemon series?
So gendered.
Yes. Really makes you think. That's why Sylveon is here. Anyway, send in your Xerneas recipes to ichoosepod@gmail.com. Now let's wrap up the show with a section I like to call plugs. Tell me where we can find you on the internet and what you got going on there. Ben, why don't you start?
Sure. You can follow me on Twitter at Ben C. Montoya, and you can follow me on Tumblr at thefearandnow.tumblr.com. And I'll also say, because this is the trans rights Pokemon and the trans rights episode, that you should consider donating to the Okra Project, which we've talked about on this show. It's a mutual aid collective that supports Black, trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people, and helps people learn how to cook, gets good food to them, and all that good stuff that people need. So go to theokraproject.com and consider donating, because trans people make the world go round. So that's my plug.
All right. Next up is Ian.
Follow me on Instagram at music Ian Davis. Musician Davis, for those of you who get the joke. I post videos of me playing the bass, some pictures of bread I bake. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Evan.
You can find me on Twitter at _Van Aubrey, on Mastodon at also _Van Aubrey, I guess, if you're in there, you know.
If you're into that freaky shit.
Yeah. I still don't know how it works, but we'll find out together. And then you can also follow my newsletter at foryourinternet.fyi. I post about design things and tech things and just things that, pique my fancy every 2 weeks. So yeah, subscribe.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at VelocityPrime1. You can follow me on Tumblr at VelocityPrime1. And then you can check out my writing at the-avocado, Jeremy Zelick at the-avocado.org. All right, time to wrap up the show. This has been I Choose You. You can find us on your favorite podcast apps, including Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, or a podcast catcher of choice. If you like the show, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to help us go up the ranks. If you want more I Choose You goodness, make sure to check out our social media pages, I Choose Pod on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can send us recipes, talk to fellow fans, and hang out. Cool stuff. If you want to be a part of the I Choose You community, join the I Choose You Discord. A bunch of people have jumped on recently, and a link is available in the episode description. Hang out with the I Choose You community, talk about nonsense. Ian, you're not hanging out there a lot, but I did post an article about how people are disassociating and eating oranges in showers. So
I'm pulling it up right now.
It's from The Cut, too.
Yes.
It's like an actual article.
yes,
Wow.
it's an actual real article. So check that out on the I Choose You Discord. Lastly, but not leastly, head over to our official website, ichooseyou.menu. It has a full episode archive and a merch store, all of which designed by one Evan Aubrey. That's ichooseyou.menu. Thanks for listening. I've been the host. Oh, no, I almost forgot. The I Choose Anniversary is on Tuesday. That's Tuesday for the normies out there. Tuesday, March 21st at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. The 4th anniversary stream, live stream, the Choose Anniversary, March 21st, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Check it out. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a churnament.
A tournament.
Yes.
You're right. We will have a tournament.
Yes.
Is that a butter making competition?
So, but mark your calendars. It'll be fun. That's it for I Choose You. I've been your host and Alta Brown of the group, Jeremy Zelick.
I've been your friend on the show, Ben Montoya.
I've been Ian Davis, the John Mackey of the show.
Nice.
And Evan Aubrey.
To all the listeners out there in Radio Land, in a while, toe to dial.